Today, I'm switching up everything. Hello everyone and welcome to The Ascent. I'm your host Steve Campbell. It's episode 60 and I am pumped up because I've officially recorded 30 episodes in the last 42 days. That's a big deal to me because even though I was working at Vayner at the time, it took me a full calendar year to record the first 30. I'm always trying to get better and better each and every day that I try to do things, and so that's what I'm trying to talk about today. Two things happened to me this weekend that were really inspirational in terms of resetting my mind and sort of causing me to focus on the bigger picture. One, my girlfriend Melissa and I had a real heart-to-heart about how I could be more vulnerable in my videos and really share the full pieces of the journey rather than just the little tidbits along the way. That means being really upfront and honest about the fact that for the last year, at least before Melissa took on this new job, it was really tough for us to make rent every month. It also means getting really upfront and honest about how I'm actually spending my days. And so if I have a day where I don't feel really productive or I feel frustrated or I'm trying to overcome a challenge of some kind or anything really at all, I should be sharing it with you as if I were writing it in a personal journal just for me. Obviously, that's a really tough thing to do. I mean, it's tough whenever you are sharing secrets with somebody and you usually only share that with the people that you're really close to. But at the same time, that's how you really win people over and how you build an audience, is being vulnerable and being real and being authentic. And so while those are two things that I'm always trying to be, my conversation with Melissa really set me in a place where I feel like I could be doing a much better job. So hopefully that means better content for you, less editing for me, and just being really raw with how I'm spending my life. The second thing I did this weekend was I started reading Tim Ferriss's book, Tools of Titans. There's a really cool thing that Tim wrote in here in the very beginning I wanted to read, which is, success, however you define it, is achievable if you collect the right field-tested beliefs and habits. Tim also said that his goal in here is to learn things once and use them forever, which I think is really cool because that's something I feel like I waste a lot of time on, is reading something, absorbing it, feeling like I have the mentality down, and then when I actually go to execute it, months or weeks later even, it's like I feel like I could really use a refresher. I could write it all down again. So I'm always trying to get better. I'm not afraid of change at all. And so I'm sort of taking today, at least the first half of it, to reverse engineer exactly how I'm going to get there in my mind. And to borrow something from one of my mentors, Gary Vaynerchuk, that requires spending a lot of time in the clouds and the dirt. And if you're not familiar with clouds and dirt, it's actually very simple. The clouds are sort of like the high level goals that you have, and then the dirt is the low level execution. Let's try to only waste one piece of paper. Now, the Ascent publication actually receives 1,500 uniques a day on average, which comes to a little over 500,000 people a year. So that goes on here. But notice how I underline people, because if our goal is to empower 1 million content creators, not every person is obviously going to be a content creator. And so I'm sort of not looking at it as if our goal's already half met, and I'm sort of looking at it as if we're closer to zero. So that leaves us Journey. Journey I look at as a community or marketplace where half the people invested in it will be photo and video people, content creators, and then the other half will be people that come to this site in order to create cool things with cool people and spend money there as consumers. Ideally, just thinking of this off the top of my head, I would like to have it be broken down 1/4 of the community is providers and 3/4 of the community are consumers. So if you're looking at our 1 million content creators, that means that 250K of them would be photo video professionals, and then the other 750K are then consumers. Now, just looking at the 250,000 photographers / videographers that we're looking to connect with over the next year, that breaks down to roughly 685 per day. That's not even excluding weekends. So you can see how, looking at this plan and then sort of reverse engineering how to get there might involve actually hiring some more people at a certain point. But if we never started with this high level goal, then we would have never gotten to this point, in which case me spending time every single day doing the things that I'm doing are useless if I don't know what exactly it's laddering up to. So if this is a real goal of mine over the next year, I have my work cut out for me. Are these numbers realistic? No, of course not. But what I'm finding is that if I operate under the assumption they are and really try to reach them with everything I've got, then where I end up might actually be way higher than I would have had I never considered that in the first place. So basically, if this is my goal for journey over the next year, I can at least start to wrap my head around the idea of making that a reality, everything that that's gonna take, and what an actual literal blueprint could look like to reaching that goal. Then I can figure out, do I need to deploy other extra bodies at it? Do I need to deploy certain relationships? Do I need to deploy capital and try to get extra investors and money? It really just gives me a few more options than I have now, at least in my mind. That's it for today. Now that I'm actually starting to wrap my head around this and sort of change my whole strategy a little bit, I'm definitely going to be changing up how I do my videos, and that means treating myself as more of a media company and really trying to provide you value in telling my story and filming myself in my day-to-day. Maybe tomorrow we can do a little bit of content planning and you can help give me some feedback so that I can make sure that every episode I'm putting out there is something that's bringing you value. Hope you like the shift. Let me know what you think.